Save money on your wedding by not getting married at all and not buying her a wedding ring. You see this a lot in society where the guy will spend like thousands of dollars on this really expensive ring for this girl out of, I guess, tradition or duty, or I don't know, honestly. It's just kind of funny when you think about it. Just like a piece of metal with like a diamond on it, and it's supposed to signify something. I guess it guarantees that everyone's staying faithful. It guarantees that the marriage is going to last. It guarantees that there's not going to be any problems or complications down the road. Guarantees that there's never going to be divorce. I don't know, but the guy will do it. He'll spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a wedding ring for this girl. And it's always the tradition too. People say like the bride's parents pay for the wedding, but sometimes too the guy gets involved and he pitches in, and so between the two they end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars when they could just like spend it on themselves. You don't need to do all that, or just as the guy, just like don't even get married in the first place. Don't even buy her the ring. Focus on your own business. Focus on your own success. Focus on your future. It's funny because like what attracted that woman to you in the first place, say between the wedding ring and the wedding, between both, say you're spending like $50,000. What if you put that towards your business? Like what if you invested that like in yourself? What if you like improved your life? So like you're taking that money and you're putting it back into you, which increases the level of attraction that she would have had for you in the first place. But if you spend all this money, then now you've depleted resources, which depletes somewhat of your level of attraction in the game. And it's really about how you're allocating your resources and how you're allocating your time, because you can interact with women without getting the state involved. You can have relations with women without signing a legal contract. It's just funny to me when people spend all this money on this wedding and then they feel like they're like have to invite like all these relatives and people from all over the country. They have this huge day for the two of them. You just have all these random people to see you two get married, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just a really awkward thing. It's like the way I would think about it. I'm now being red pilled for a little bit and MGTOW. It's just kind of like if I had that money and I was gonna get married, I would just tell her like, hey, let's just like save it. Let's just like put it in the bank and like have a cushion for a little bit so that life is comfortable. I like camping and being outdoors anyways and just living it as minimalist as possible. So like if I had that money, that's just what I would think to do with it. It's like when people ask me sometimes like, what's your dream car? Like, what if you had this like amount of money, if you had X amount of dollars, what dream car would you buy? It's like, well, if I had that amount of money, I would put that money in the bank and just like not work for a bit or be chill or just like not be stressed. Like I wouldn't buy a car. I wouldn't buy like a piece of metal and plastic. And I'm not knocking anyone that wants to spend their money that way. You spend your money in the way you want it, but it's just kind of like when it comes to marriage and all the money that people spend on it, it's funny to me to see all these people where like the guy spending all this money on the wedding ring and his wife and like the honeymoon and just like affording like her resources and her living and her lifestyle, and he doesn't even know that she's got another dude on the side. He doesn't even know about the pool guy. He doesn't even know that he might be the backup plan after she's done with like her party years, or just like the other relationships didn't work out. He met her for the first time in like his mid-20s or mid-20s, and he's like not consciously aware that there's like time before that. So there's just like stuff he doesn't know when he's getting into this relationship and spending all this money. And you got to ask yourself as a man too, because like women aren't spending that money on us. Women don't necessarily share their pot of gold with men. It happens. Sometimes in a relationship, the woman is the breadwinner. Sometimes she shares money with the man or pays for half for dates. But in general, when it's like that, she's going to lose interest and she's going to go for a more masculine, more alpha type guy for her circumstance. So if like she's making six figures, I use this example all the time of like a girl making six figures. She's generally going to date a guy that makes that or above. And I always get a comment that says like, oh, well, you're crazy because like the young good looking guy that's like broke and like a drug addict, like he can just still get with her. It's like, yes, on a sexual attraction point, short-term hookup, yes, but in terms of like a relationship or like anything that's more than just like something casual, in general, she's gonna be more attracted to like a guy that's like above her status, just in the way that feminine and masculine play out. Yes, there's like the sugar baby, there's like the, there's like the cougar with like the young stud, there's like that, but it's just like in general, as a feminine woman, she's gonna look for like more masculine traits. She's gonna be looking for like the better provider, the bigger breadwinner, like somebody that's above her level in the way that we play with each other in terms of dominance and submission, masculine and feminine. That's generally how it plays out. So yeah, you say like with the wedding, like the bride's parents pay for the wedding or whatever, but the man's spending the wedding ring, probably the honeymoon, sometimes even the wedding itself, even though it's like the bride's parents supposedly pay, but a lot of times the man ends up paying too. And then you have him not only just like past the wedding day, but now he's just like the provider going forward. He's just like his money becomes her money, joint bank accounts, the state's involved, it's a contract, so he's forever indebted to her in terms of him having to keep up his end of the deal. So whatever happens in their relationship, if the economy tanks, he loses his job, or they lose attraction to each other or whatever, they can get a divorce. And if they have kids, there's like custody issue now, and generally the woman will get the majority of the custody of that, even if he's a good father, even if he is trying to be in the child's life. The courts are generally going to favor the woman in terms of custody and also financially. So a guy will pay a bunch of alimony or child support when she's self-sufficient herself, like she's able to work. But that's just generally how it plays out, where he's not necessarily an absent father. It was just a relationship that didn't work, and now he's forever indebted, even past the age of 18, just paying up whatever that child support or that alimony was. And so when I see these weddings, and like all the money people spend on this, and then like the wedding dress that's just like long, it's just like it's like going behind her, like someone has to hold it because it's like long, it's like taller than her, it's like ridiculous. And then like the wedding ring where you're wearing like thousands of dollars like on your finger. I mean, it's one thing too if like you see like a rapper that's wearing like a chain or something, it's like whatever, he bought a piece of jewelry, it's bling. I wouldn't do that myself, spending jewelry that expensive, but it makes a little more sense when it's just like, hey, like I just want to wear some bling for me, but like you're spending it on like another human being, and like knowing that the divorce rates are half, and like there's a good chance that like you're not the only guy she's sleeping with anyways, just because you're married, or just because like, oh, you married in the church, therefore that's a better girl. It's like everybody knows the truth of that. That doesn't make her a better person just because you got married in the church, or like you think that that's gonna have this like more like faithful religious woman. That's like, humans are still humans, biology is still biology. She's gonna get her needs met one way or the other, whether it's financially through you, or sexual attraction, or she's getting those from other guys too. You might have both of those. You might have the finances and the sexual attraction, but she's also attracted to the other guy. So you're gone at work, and pool guy comes over, or she goes out to the bar and it's girls' night out, or girls' trip to Vegas, girls' trip to Cabo, and the guy, being naive, usually just thinks that that's what it is. He thinks it's just like a fun get together with the girls, and so he's spending all this money on this woman that he thinks is his wife, when had he taken that money and invested in himself, the irony is he could have multiple wives. He could have multiple women attracted to him, because like he took the money and put it into his own advancement. He put it into his own improvement. And like people look at that, like sometimes women too, and they're like, oh, that's so selfish. But like you'll say that initially, but then if he's taking care of his health, if he's taking care of his fitness, if he's starting that business with that money and it takes off, and now he has even more ability to just like really provide long term for like the rest of life residually, now all of a sudden she goes, oh, now I see why you invested that money in yourself. So it's like the original guy who spent all that money on the marriage and the relationship, she sees the second guy who has a business taking off, and the irony of that is that now the second guy looks like a better option, and he didn't have to spend all the money on the marriage or the wedding. He didn't have to be there 24/7 with her. He just focused on himself, and just the aura he created around himself is pulling the wife away from that husband. And this happens a lot. And so I see this with weddings, and just people spending all this money, and the dress, the ring, just like the invitations, the food, the like you can put it, like, take your phone and just like put a Bluetooth speaker for the music, but then like, nope, we got to hire this live band or this DJ and just pay even more money. It's ridiculous when you really think about everything that adds up on something that's like, it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of bogus. Like the whole, like, oh, this together forever till death do us part. Like, is that really the case? There's really nothing going on behind the scenes. That's really the marriage that we think it is on the surface. I don't know about that. So I think the best way to save money on your wedding and on your marriage, so to save money on your wedding day, just don't have the wedding day. Just don't pay for the ring. That's how you'll save the money.